Welcome to Blood, Sweat, and Gears. Today I'm going to try and rip apart the top of this engine. Got a new intake to put on because the 4-barrel that's on here is on the stock 2-barrel intake and it's got this adapter plate. It's not really working too well. So it's got a new performance intake, some Edelbrock RPM Performer. It's got a lot of stuff in the way. I got a bunch of gaskets, new sensors, everything thrown at the same time. So let's start ripping this thing apart. Get this heavy hood open. I still need that ornament, but they go for like $200 used. It's wild. All right, where are you? There you are. Ugh. Heavy. All right, so I've rebuilt the carburetor, but this is the original 2-barrel carb intake. So this is meant for a 2-barrel carb. There's a 4-barrel, much bigger, and this adapter plate's kind of there making it work, but it's just not working well. I can't get the fuel mixture just right. It could be these are the issue, or I need some more tuning, but might as well swap this. These are leaking. I got new gaskets from that as well. I want to delete on all this emission stuff that I don't need. Got a new temperature sensor, oil pressure sending unit, all that good stuff. But for that, I got to take these off, got to take all this off. I need to take the air compressor off, so I got to loosen the belts. All these lines are in the way, ignition coils in the way. Got to pull the distributor. A lot of stuff to pull out here to make this work. Get started. You want to make sure you get all the crud as much as you can off of it. You don't want any of that falling into your engine. A lot of this is really oily and gunky, so I can't vacuum a lot of it. So I'm going to hope for the best and vacuum the inside as well when I'm done. For now, let's take out the valve covers and then the intake. I think should be ready. Valve covers. Oh, not having. All right, one. Okay. Everything's nice and stiff, nothing's obviously broken. Okay, 2. Whew. So, do this way. Let's take this off now. Oh, that's so much heavier. The new one I have is aluminum. This thing is heavy. Cast iron. Woo. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna need a place to put this immediately. Let's put it right here. Oh. This thing's like a good 30 pounds probably. A couple stiff push rods, but those are the ones that are depressed. So like for this one, I can't spin it because the cam lobe's, it's on the lobe. This one, same thing. And which was this one, same thing, it's on the lobe. But all the other ones spin smoothly, so none of them bent. Looks pretty clean inside. Got some oil in there still. Cam shaft doesn't look too bad. I don't see any big gouges or anything. I'll bring you in and show you. I'm sure someone on the internet can also explain to me why I'm wrong, and then I'll know. I'm not touching the camshaft anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna send it essentially. Oh, there's quite a bit of debris in there actually. But it looks pretty good. Let me lift this monster of an intake out. Oh, how am I gonna get out of here? I just did legs, I'm so sore. Alright, so here's the internals. You can see push rods, lifters, your camshaft, rocker arms, and that's how your camshaft here has these lobes. You can see right here, that one's pushing the lifter up. That pushes the rod, which pushes the rocker, which then goes like this and opens the valve and closes. So you have your exhaust and your exhaust intake for each cylinder. And this is where your air and fuel goes into straight to the pistons when the valves are open. So looks pretty good. Not super dirty. Obviously I gotta clean the edges and everything, but looks good. Let's see, I don't think I need anything from this. Deleted. I have a new one. Oh no, this one I need. This I have a new one. This I have a new one. This is the intake, the new one uses the older style, which is bigger, so I have a new neck and thermostat. Adapter plate I won't need. So yeah, this is, I just need to take this off, and then I don't need the rest of this. And then I dropped my phone. So here's the old intake. Just got to take this off. Everything else I don't need or I have new ones of. And there is my new one. I got to take it out, start getting it ready, making sure everything's plumbed, and then throw all that back on. So here's the new intake. It's an Edelbrock RPM Airgap. Supposed to be performance, high torque. It's much taller. So this way it's way taller than the old one. And it's got much bigger ports here as opposed to the old one that has like little ones and then big secondaries. But you can see, whoa, first of all, the weight. But this one is a nice skinny one. The new one, much taller. I should have plenty of hood clearance, but got a new water neck with a new thermostat. Came with these plugs, got a new sensor, came with this. This I gotta pull out from the other one still, and that's it. Everything else is deleted. There's no all these other stuff that came with the stock car, so cleans it up nicely and looks a lot nicer than the old one, and considerably lighter. I mean, it's like a good 20-30 pounds lighter. Ooh, just doing a quick wash of the valve covers, and these seals are solid. Like, they are so old that I'm surprised it didn't leak more. It also like glued on here to take it off piece by piece essentially. But they're cleaning up fairly nicely. Just gotta sand it down, throw a quick coat of paint on it, figure out how to get that off. Quick update. Intake's still off. Haven't gotten that done yet, but Christmas came around and my lovely fiance got me competition headers, which are on the way. So now I'm gonna try and figure out how to get these off. They're leaking anyway, exhaust leaks, but I really don't want to break any of those bolts. So I'm spraying these down with Freol, letting them sit, because these are all rusted, and from the heat and time that they've been on here, those are gonna be a nightmare to pull off. And this one is actually leaking. The gasket is leaking. These apparently warp. It's pretty common for the stock exhaust manifolds to warp and then cause a leak, and so these are a bit loose and leaking anyway. So that'll be a nice little upgrade, and I can get rid of the heater valve, air valve, pipes, whatever they are. They've been disconnected for a long time. I gotta still clean this up. Did this old gasket out. Ugh. Ugh. Well, it's actually not bad. Still flexible. I'm gonna throw a quick coat of paint on the valve covers. Got some new grommets for those. The PCV grommets on those were just rock hard. They were awful. Gotta clean this up. Gotta clean these ports out. The heater crossover ports. I don't think I'm gonna be using those anyway, but clean everything I can while I'm here, and hopefully throw everything back together. I did learn that the intake that I got, apparently, because the thermostat housing, it's not offset like the stock one is. It's in the center, which means this will probably hit it, or the bracket for this will hit it. Let's try and get these things off. Oh man, if I break a stud in the head, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble. So news. That may be the easiest I've ever gotten these bolts out. Some of them were literally hand tight. Like this one, I broke loose, and then I was able to back it the rest of the way out with just my hands, just my fingers, 2 fingers. Everything was super loose. I got the exhaust disconnected in the bottom there on both sides. This one's already hanging off. The other side's still stuck on there. Gotta pry that off. But that came out super easy. The rest of the exhaust, I'm just gonna take a Sawzall to cut it off because I can't use it anyway. But wow, this may be the easiest exhaust I will ever take out in my life. That was just, also, it's clearly been taken out before. We got bolts. We got one stud with a nut that just came out. We got these short bolts. We got a couple long bolts. I don't know what's happening. Just I'm happy I'm replacing them, and this one was one of them in the back over there where the leak was. It wasn't even tight. I just took it out by hand completely. That's probably where my leak was. All right, now to pull everything out, I probably got to pull these out of the way. Maybe I can squeeze it. Well, this is gonna get in the way. This is disconnected already on one side. Well, I got them out, and well, I wonder if anyone still wants these. I don't know if anyone's restoring these cars at all to like factory stock everything. But what I noticed was that's metal, and that surface is metal. Are there no gaskets on these? Is it just metal to metal? It's just metal. Are there supposed to be gaskets? I guess I'll find out when I get the hooker headers. I'll look it up. I'm glad they came out easy. Now to take the Sawzall, cut that off. I just need to cut it in one spot, so it'll all drop off. It's just on one hanger, and the exhaust just comes out the side here. So it's just one hanger. All that will drop, and so I just need to cut it there, with that after that T, to get it through this, and then just pull it out. Because the bolts on that side are just, those are gone. The clamp holding those two sections together, that's gone. Well, that went so much faster than I expected it to. That was easy. That took like 15 minutes. All right, I guess I'll start cleaning the surfaces. So I was cleaning this up and I noticed this. So this is a heat crossover, right? And it's pretty clear, and I'm just like cutting this gunk out. This side, oh God, oh my God. I don't know what happened here.
Is it carbon?
I don't know.
Or is it like...
It's solid.
That's not a water channel, is it?
No, it's heat crossover from the exhaust, and I'm blocking it off with the new intake anyway. But I just wanted to clean it out, but it's...
That's got to be like carbon buildup or something.
I don't know. This side is all gooey. Like, that's what I was expecting. This is solid. Oh, I just got a bunch of the lifters. Should I clean it or just leave it?
I'd at least like sand it flat.
It's sticking above the intake.
Yeah, I'd sand it flat at least if it's being bypassed.
I'm gonna try hammering it out. So I got this thrown on with the new gasket. Got that in there, threw the carb on while I was at it. This is just on here. It's nothing's tight yet. Working out where the brackets go. So that one I gotta take that bolt off still. This is not, see how it's in the center? The stock one is shifted this way, which means that that bolt back there hits this bolt. The air compressor hits it. And it hits right there also. So I gotta move this somehow, but I can't move the compressor forward out of the way because then the belts won't line up. And the bracket also holds the alternator bolt right there, which means that I can't move these two brackets. But the way it's mounted, there's two here and two there on that bracket. I think if I just make a plate and lift the whole air compressor up without moving it this way or this way, just straight up, it'll clear both of those. The brackets themselves clear perfectly fine. And then this will be the adjustment for the belt difference, the height. So I gotta make probably like an inch up, maybe. Yeah, so I'll just move that up. Try and retain AC, because it does get hot in the summers. It's not hot right now, but... So essentially what I'm doing is just like a piece of cardboard, and this is the bracket. So these two bolt to the heads, and this two bolt to the actual AC compressor. So I'm just gonna line these up and draw where the holes are, maybe the outlines, and then I'll just measure, say, an inch on both, copy the holes, and that's the piece I'll cut out. There we go, something like that. So I just put this on here, mark the holes, measured from the top about the same distance. I don't care if it's too much like that. This is what I care about. So I'm not worried, it doesn't need to be perfect. And then just same holes up top. Just need to now cut this piece out of steel, drill the holes, and make two of those because the other is the same hole pattern. So this is what I'm talking about. This bracket, that'll go on the engine, and I made this piece here, and that'll just go just like that. I'll bolt this together into one piece, and then the compressor will just bolt up there. Here's what I did with the brackets. Just quick coat of black spray paint. Ooh. Just, you know, keep it from being bare metal. They look a lot nicer now though. And I'm like, well, I got a new intake. I got new brackets. These are brand new now. But the valve covers are like, they're dented, scratched, no paint on them. And I'm like, well, I can get new valve covers. Eventually, I spent about like 8 hours sanding these for absolutely no good reason. Completely wasted my time because they're not worth it in any way, shape, or form. But now it's bare metal. I'm gonna prime them. They're gonna look black until I eventually do replace them, because that's for sure going to happen at some point. Well, polishing metal's fun, I guess. Making stuff look good does not need to be expensive. This was not going to be as strong, not going to be as durable. It's not going to last as long as powder coating. But it's an improvement, and it's one can of paint. You know, it's not a show car, and it looks a whole lot better. That paint job did a pretty good job. It looks a lot better than it did. Shiny even. The top end definitely looks like it's been worked on and the bottom is just gross. I should clean this engine bay. Got my brackets. My homemade brackets. So I think I probably should throw on these first. Then those on the compressor, and then I'll mount them. So here's what I've come up with. This is the original bracket. Made this little extension just to raise the compressor up to clear the thermometer. And then on the back, this spot was hitting, so I just grooved that out, and then this corner was hitting in this bolt. But if I weld this bolt here, which I'm not going to, but you could, permanently in this position, and then this nut is how you take it on and off. This clears it. That should do it. I'll throw some paint on it just so it doesn't rust from those spots. While that's drying, let's throw on the other brackets. Where's this guy? What's it for? I feel like I remember, or should remember. No idea. Rotor is pointing about the right direction. Ish. Let's throw these on. Shooter cap. I can't find a PCV valve, so I gotta order a new one. I think I did put new grommets in, but I need a PCV valve and a breather filter there, so gotta do those anyway. There's that bracket that just lifts up the compressor, and I haven't installed it on this side, but it's essentially going to do that also. So it just lifts everything up. That bracket clears the intake just barely. You can shave it more if you need to. And on this side, see, before that gold sensor, the AC would have hit it, and so that lifts it just enough so it's clear. And this still lines up with this, it's just higher, so that this has to be closer in. So this is kind of what I came up with. Two little brackets, move it up and out of the way so this will clear, because when I went straight up, this, even like this, it was rubbing here, and when it's actually connected, it was hitting the compressor. So now that should move it out of the way, and it should still keep the geometry for the belts. And this is actually the third set I made. The second set were further, about a ½ inch more, and that made it so that the belt actually hit the water pump here. But like this, it should be fine. So if anyone's wondering, this is just, I think it's 1.5 inches up and then an inch to the left, and then I just mirrored it. And this front one needs this divot here because the compressor has this round bit there that it'll hit. All right, let's get that installed. So here's my contraption. Extension here for this bar. You can see the paint's already scuffed up. I did have to bend it a little bit, but you can see this now lines up with the crank as it did before, and with this still. So the geometry is still good because all we did was lift it up. Here, the brackets, everything's moved over, so there's plenty of clearance, even with this side connected. Plenty of clearance. Now this can go over to there, and there's plenty of room for everything. The wire still reaches for that. Plug that in. Okay. These have plenty of room. The only difference is the original belt. So I've been using this to check for clearances. So you can see plenty of space there. That moves. And then if I hook it up to the bottom of the crank and tight, there is just enough clearance. I might actually have to shave it a little bit, but there's like no room, even with me moving it back. When it's tight, I don't know if you can see, yeah, you see, if it's tight, there's clearance. If it's loose, it starts to rub on the water pump. So I think I might just like file away like maybe an 1/8 of an inch right there, just in case if it does that while it's going. But just these are just, there's nothing in here, it's just support, so just shave off a little bit. But that'll make it so this works with AC, hopefully, assuming everything works. But exhaust still I haven't started. That'll be its own project. Got this gunk here, gotta clean that up, gotta tap these holes, fill them. Got a whole exhaust system for this True Duals setup. But yeah, that's 2 brackets up and a little bit away. Little extension bracket here, bent away so it doesn't hit this belt. And that's it.